Be the observer of your thoughts, my dear. Sit quietly for a moment and notice what is moving through your mind. Perhaps a thought about yesterday appears, or perhaps the mind is already trying to solve tomorrow. You do not have to stop these thoughts, chase them, or argue with them. Simply notice, I am thinking. This little moment of awareness is the beginning of freedom. There is a difference between recognizing that thinking is happening and becoming completely lost in what the thought is saying. One is awareness, the other is identification. When you say, I am having a fearful thought, you create a little loving space around it. You are no longer saying, this fear is who I am. Breathe gently and remember, a thought is something I have. It is not who I am. The mind produces thoughts just as the sky receives passing clouds. Some thoughts are useful, some are beautiful, and some are old reactions that have been repeated for many years. You would not look at one dark cloud and decide that the sky has disappeared forever. In the same way, you do not have to look at one painful thought and decide that it is the truth of your whole life. The thought may say, nothing will work, but that is a sentence, not a prophecy. It may say, you are not good enough, but that may be an old conclusion rather than an honest description. Notice the words without making them your identity. You can say, my mind is showing me an old story. Then breathe and allow the story to pass without giving it another chapter. You are the spacious awareness in which thoughts come and go. Many people are frightened by negative thoughts because they believe every thought must be controlled. Then they become anxious about being anxious and critical of themselves for being critical. This creates another layer of struggle. My dear, you do not need to police every movement of your mind. Thoughts often appear automatically through memory, habit, stress, and what you have repeatedly heard. Their arrival does not make you bad, weak, or spiritually unsuccessful. Your freedom lies in what you do after you notice them. You may feed a thought, repeat it, and search for evidence that it is true. Or you may acknowledge it and choose not to build your day around it. Say gently, I do not have to follow every thought that asks for my attention. Let awareness replace the need for perfect control. Imagine that your thoughts are visitors arriving at your door. You do not have to invite every visitor inside, prepare a meal, and give them a permanent room. You may recognize one and say, I know you. You are the old fear that appears when I feel uncertain. Another may be the voice of comparison, repeating that everyone else is ahead. Another may carry the belief that one mistake has ruined everything. You can greet these visitors without allowing them to run your home. Awareness becomes the loving guardian at the door. It asks, does this thought bring truth, wisdom, or useful guidance? If the answer is no, you may let it continue on its way. Affirm, I am the one who notices my thoughts, and I decide which thoughts may remain. The words I choose return authority to you. You may not choose every thought that first appears, but you can choose which one receives your continued energy. Suppose the mind says, I always fail. Instead of wrestling with it, pause and answer, I have experienced disappointment, and I am still learning. The new thought does not deny the past. It simply refuses to turn one part of your experience into a permanent identity. If the mind says, I will always be this way, answer, I am choosing a new way of seeing myself. You do not need to feel completely convinced. A new choice can begin as willingness. Every time you choose again, You interrupt the belief that the old story is your only possible future. Let us practice 3 simple choices together. Place your hand over your heart and say, I choose peace. This does not mean that every circumstance must instantly become peaceful. It means that you are choosing not to add unnecessary warfare within yourself. Now say, I choose truth. Truth may include a difficulty that requires attention, but it also includes your strength, resources, choices, and capacity to ask for help. Finally say, I choose thoughts that support me. Supportive thoughts are not fantasies. They help you meet reality with greater courage, clarity, and self-respect. You can acknowledge, this is difficult, and add, I can take 1 step. Freedom begins when you realize that you can choose again. You may need to choose again many times in a single day. This does not mean the practice is failing. The repetition is the practice. An old thought has often been rehearsed for years, so it may return through familiar pathways. Each time you notice it and choose something kinder, you begin strengthening another inner path. Do not demand an immediate transformation. Celebrate the moment of awareness itself. Yesterday, perhaps you believed the thought for several hours before recognizing it. Today, you may notice it after 10 minutes. One day, you may hear it as it begins and calmly decline to follow. Say, every loving choice makes the next loving choice more familiar. You are training the mind through patience, not punishment. One of the most powerful ways to redirect the mind is to ask a better question. A question gives your attention an assignment. If you continually ask, why does this always happen to me? The mind searches the past for evidence of helplessness. If you ask, why am I never enough? It begins collecting every mistake and comparison it can find. These are closed questions because they already contain a painful conclusion. They do not invite discovery. They demand confirmation of the old story. Notice when you are asking a question that can produce only self-judgment. Do not criticize yourself for it. Simply recognize that your mind has been searching in a very small room. Then open a window by choosing a question that makes space for another possibility. Ask, is there another way to see this? You do not need to pretend that a painful event is wonderful. You are simply admitting that your first interpretation may not be the only interpretation. A delay might not mean rejection. A mistake might be information rather than proof of inadequacy. Someone else's reaction may reflect their capacity rather than your worth. Ask, what good could begin from here? Perhaps the good is a clearer boundary, a necessary conversation, a new skill, or the courage to choose differently. You do not have to find the answer immediately. The question itself loosens the grip of certainty. It tells the mind that the story is not finished. Another powerful question is, if I were not afraid, what would I choose? This does not mean that you must ignore danger or make a reckless decision. It helps you distinguish between genuine wisdom and an old fear that automatically says no to growth. The answer may be very small. You might speak honestly, ask for information, apply for an opportunity, or stop pursuing someone who offers only confusion. Then ask, what is one loving thought I can choose right now? Perhaps it is, I am doing the best I can today. Perhaps it is, I am allowed to take my time. Perhaps it is, I can ask for support. A loving thought does not remove responsibility. It creates enough inner safety for responsible action. When no answer comes, allow the question to remain open. The mind does not need to solve everything in the same moment it becomes aware of a problem. Some answers arrive after rest, a walk, a conversation, or a period of quiet. Ask the question and then return to your breath. Let life continue revealing information. You may discover that the answer appears through an idea, a bodily sense of relief, or a practical next step. Stay grounded and use discernment. A new possibility should still be examined through reality, values, and consequences. Openness does not mean believing every thought. It means no longer allowing fear to declare the case closed. Change the question, and the mind begins looking for a new possibility. So when a negative thought appears today, pause before calling it the truth. Say, I notice that I am having this thought. Feel the space created by those words. Then ask whether the thought reflects present facts or an old expectation. If it is useful, let it guide an appropriate action. If it is merely repeating fear, choose a gentler direction. I choose peace. I choose truth. I choose thoughts that support me. Then ask one open question. What else might be possible from here? You do not have to manufacture the complete answer. You are simply setting your mind free from the belief that there is only one story, one conclusion, or one future. Take one final breath, my dear, and let your inner world become quiet enough to hear you. You are not the harsh sentence passing through your mind. You are the loving awareness that can notice the sentence and choose again. You are not permanently trapped inside yesterday's conclusions. At any moment, you may introduce a new thought, ask a new question, and take a new step. Repeat softly, my thoughts are not my master. I observe them with compassion. I keep the wisdom and release the fear. I choose peace. I choose truth. And I choose thoughts that support my life. My mind is opening to new possibilities. I am free to choose again. Let this be your practice today, not perfect thinking, but loving awareness. Each time you return to yourself, freedom grows. I have learned that peace becomes very fragile when it depends entirely on what other people think. One day, someone praises you and you feel certain that you are doing well. The next day, another person criticizes you, and suddenly you begin questioning everything about yourself. Nothing essential within you has changed. Yet your inner world rises and falls according to reactions you cannot control. My dear, this is an exhausting way to live. Other people are allowed to have opinions, but their opinions were never meant to become the final measure of your worth. They see you through their own experiences, fears, preferences, and expectations. Sometimes their perspective can teach you something useful. Sometimes it has very little to do with who you truly are. Your freedom begins when you learn to listen without handing everyone the authority to define you. You need a foundation deeper than praise and steadier than criticism. Let that foundation be truth, love, kindness, integrity, and the values you believe come from God. These values do not change every time someone enters or leaves the room. They give you a way to examine yourself honestly without becoming cruel. You can ask whether your words were truthful, whether your actions were responsible, and whether you treated yourself and others with respect. If you made a mistake, your values will guide you toward repair. If you acted with integrity and someone still disapproves, those same values will help you remain grounded. You do not need to become defensive, and you do not need to become smaller. You can breathe, consider what is useful, and release what does not belong to you. I let truth guide me more deeply than other people's opinions. Living by a higher standard does not mean believing that you are always right. Truth requires humility. It asks you to recognize when pride, fear, or an old wound is influencing your response. It allows you to say, I did not handle that well, and I am willing to choose differently. Yet, humility is not the same as self-erasure. You can acknowledge a mistake without allowing another person to turn that mistake into your entire identity. You can receive feedback without using it as permission to attack yourself. You can change your behavior without abandoning your nature. A higher standard does not ask, how can I make everyone approve of me? It asks, what is the most truthful and loving response available now? That question brings you back to your center. When your values are clear, you no longer have to chase every comment made about you. You do not need to explain yourself to someone who has already decided not to understand. You do not have to reshape your personality for every group, relationship, or audience. There may still be moments when criticism hurts, because you are human and connection matters to you. Let yourself feel the discomfort without making it a command. Pause before defending, apologizing, or changing direction. Ask whether the person knows you well enough to offer meaningful insight. Ask whether their words are specific and constructive or merely an expression of their own discomfort. Then, take what helps you grow and leave the rest. You can remain teachable without becoming available for everyone to rewrite. Think of your inner life as a territory entrusted to your care. Within this territory are your thoughts, choices, boundaries, values, and responses. This is where your power lives. You cannot control every event, but you can become more conscious of the meaning you give it. You cannot prevent every difficult thought from appearing, but you can decide whether to repeat it all day. You cannot force another person to speak respectfully, but you can choose what you will do when disrespect continues. You can pause, leave, ask for clarification, request support, or create distance. You can decide which messages enter your mind repeatedly and which environments receive your time. Caring for this territory is not selfish. It is part of becoming a responsible guardian of your own life. There is also a territory that belongs to other people. Their thoughts belong to them. Their preferences, interpretations, decisions, and level of understanding belong to them. You may communicate honestly, but you cannot control how they receive your words. You may love someone deeply, but you cannot complete their emotional work for them. You may offer an apology, but you cannot decide when they will forgive. You may live with integrity, but you cannot guarantee that everyone will see you accurately. The attempt to manage another person's inner territory will consume enormous energy. You begin rehearsing explanations, predicting reactions, and correcting imaginary conversations. Meanwhile, your own life waits for your attention. What others think belongs to them. How I choose to live belongs to me. Notice how often the mind tries to enter territory that is not yours. Someone does not reply, and you begin imagining what they must be thinking. A person looks distracted, and you decide that you have disappointed them. You hear that two people spoke privately and assume the conversation was about you. The body responds to these stories as if they were established facts. Your shoulders tighten, your breathing changes, and your peace disappears into a situation created mainly by imagination. When this happens, return gently to the truth. I do not know what this person is thinking. If clarification is appropriate, ask directly and calmly. If it is not, allow yourself not to know. Uncertainty may feel uncomfortable, but it is often less painful than the frightening story you use to fill it. Respecting another person's territory means allowing them to have a response that you would not choose. They may misunderstand a boundary. They may feel disappointed when you say no. They may prefer the version of you who was always available, quiet, or willing to carry their responsibilities. Their discomfort does not automatically prove that your choice is wrong. You remain responsible for expressing yourself respectfully, but you are not responsible for preventing every difficult feeling in another adult. People are allowed to process their own disappointment. You are allowed to tolerate the fact that they may not like every decision you make. Love does not require total agreement. Healthy connection has enough room for two people to remain distinct. Protecting your territory also means deciding what kind of behavior receives access to you. An opinion can be heard, but it does not have the right to govern your identity. A request can be considered, but it does not automatically become your obligation. A person can be loved, but love does not give them unlimited permission to disturb your peace. If a conversation becomes insulting, you may end it and return when respectful communication is possible. If a person repeatedly uses your vulnerability against you, you may become more selective about what you share. If an environment continually feeds fear and comparison, you may reduce your exposure. Boundaries are not walls of punishment. They are the loving doors through which you consciously choose what enters your life. Each time you maintain a healthy boundary, you send a healing message inward. My well-being matters. Perhaps, in the past, you ignored your limits because you were afraid of being called difficult or selfish. You agreed while resentment quietly accumulated. You remained in conversations long after respect had disappeared. You may have believed that being loving meant being endlessly accessible. Now you are learning another form of love, the love that includes you. This love can be warm and clear at the same time. It does not need to shout or threaten. It simply says, I am not willing to continue in this way. Then it supports those words with a consistent choice. Your mental territory also needs regular care. Not every thought that arrives deserves to remain. Some thoughts contain useful information, while others are old judgments that have been repeated until they feel familiar. Familiarity is not the same as truth. When a painful thought appears, ask 3 questions. Is this true? Is this loving? Does this help me grow? A thought does not need to be cheerful to be useful. This situation is not healthy for me, may be uncomfortable, but it can be both truthful and supportive. I am worthless because this happened is neither accurate nor helpful. Learn to recognize the difference between an honest observation and a personal attack. Truth illuminates the next step. Shame only makes you want to hide. Suppose the mind says, I am not enough. Pause and ask what enough is supposed to mean. Enough for whom and according to which standard? Perhaps there is a skill you still need to develop or a responsibility you need to complete. You can acknowledge that without declaring your whole being inadequate. Replace the old sentence with something grounded. I am growing, and I can learn what this moment requires. This does not pretend that you have mastered everything. It reminds you that a current limitation is not a permanent identity. You are a living person with the ability to learn, practice, ask for help, and begin again. Let growth replace condemnation. When the mind says there is no way forward, recognize that it may be describing what you can currently see, not every possibility that exists. A more truthful thought is, there may be a path I have not seen yet. That path may appear through information, a conversation, a new skill, or a direction different from the one you expected. You do not need to make a fantasy out of the future. Simply stop declaring the story finished while you are still living it. Ask what one step is available now. Perhaps you need to gather facts, rest before deciding, contact someone, or stop repeating an approach that does not work. One step can reveal information that cannot be seen from where you stand. Hope is not certainty. It is the willingness to leave room for movement. When the mind insists, I must control everything, listen for the fear beneath the sentence. Control often promises protection from disappointment, but it can make the heart and body live in continuous tension. You may plan, prepare, communicate, and take responsible action. These things belong to your territory. The exact timing, another person's response, and every future detail do not. Try saying, I can do my part and trust the rest to unfold. An open hand can act, receive, and adjust. A clenched hand can only hold one thing tightly. Trust does not mean standing still. It means moving without requiring complete control before you allow yourself to breathe. Positive thinking is not pretending that painful things are pleasant. It does not tell you to smile when you need to grieve or remain in danger while repeating cheerful words. If a problem exists, name it. If support is required, seek it. If a boundary is necessary, create it. If your body needs professional care, allow yourself to receive it. Positive thinking means that after you acknowledge reality, you refuse to let fear become the only possible interpretation. You leave room for support, learning, solutions, courage, and goodness. You say, this is difficult, and I can take one loving step. Both parts of that sentence are true. A peaceful mind is not an empty mind. It is a mind that continually returns to truth. Thoughts may still race on a difficult morning. An old memory may still appear, and criticism may still touch a tender place. Peace comes from knowing that you do not have to follow every thought to its darkest conclusion. You can notice, breathe, and choose again. You can put down the phone, step outside, drink water, or wait until your body is calmer before making a decision. Sometimes the mind does not need another hour of analysis. It needs rest, movement, nourishment, silence, or the presence of someone safe. Wisdom includes recognizing when thinking has stopped being useful. Imagine opening the windows of a room that has been closed for many years. The air inside may feel heavy, but you do not need to hate the room. You simply recognize that it needs light and circulation. Old thoughts can settle within you in the same way. Nothing ever works for me. Everyone leaves. I must struggle to deserve anything. These sentences may have remained so long that you no longer notice the atmosphere they create. Awareness opens the first window. A truthful thought opens another. A loving action lets fresh air move through the room. You do not clean your mind by fighting it. You care for it by repeatedly choosing what is true, useful, and kind. As the old noise softens, you begin hearing yourself more clearly. You notice what you enjoy rather than what you believe you should enjoy. You recognize which relationships allow you to breathe and which ones require constant performance. You hear the body asking for rest before it must demand it through exhaustion. You become aware of ideas that were buried beneath worry. Energy once spent proving your worth becomes available for creativity, love, meaningful work, and joy. This is part of creating heaven within. It is not an escape from ordinary life. It is the creation of an inner place that is no longer continually hostile to your own existence. Heaven within does not mean that every day becomes easy. You may still face uncertainty, loss, disagreement, and responsibilities that require courage. The difference is that you stop adding self-rejection to every difficult experience. When sadness appears, you do not call yourself weak. When a plan fails, you do not declare yourself a failure. When another person leaves, you do not automatically conclude that you are unlovable. You accompany yourself through the experience. You ask what is needed and take the next responsible step. The outer storm may require action, but you no longer create a second storm by turning against yourself. Peace is becoming my natural inner home. You can begin creating this inner home in 1 minute. Place a hand over your heart and notice a single breath. Feel what is physically supporting you, the floor, the chair, or the bed. Look around and recognize that you are here now. Then say, "For this moment, I am not against myself." You may still feel worried or uncertain. There is no need to force those feelings away. Simply let them exist inside a larger field of compassion. Imagine becoming the calm adult presence your frightened parts have always needed. Tell them, "I am here." We will take this one step at a time. When you no longer spend every day proving yourself, a great deal of life returns to you. You have more attention for people you genuinely love. You can create without constantly predicting how everyone will respond. You can enjoy something without turning it into a measure of success. You can remain curious because you are no longer ashamed of not knowing. Mistakes become information rather than evidence that you should stop. The mind becomes more flexible, and flexibility allows new solutions to appear. Peace does not reduce your power. It releases the power that fear was using to maintain old defenses. Beneath the thoughts you learned is the person you were created to be. This deeper self is not the mask developed to gain approval. It is not the old fear that says you must remain quiet, useful, perfect, or invisible. It is the living presence capable of love, truth, imagination, discernment, and joy. You do not need to invent this person from nothing. Mental freedom is often a process of removing what no longer belongs. You release one inherited belief, one false obligation, and one role that has become too small. Then something natural begins to emerge. You become less concerned with appearing authentic and more willing simply to live authentically. Returning to your original design does not mean refusing growth. It means allowing growth to bring you closer to your deepest values instead of farther into performance. You can become more disciplined without becoming cruel. You can develop confidence without believing that you are above anyone. You can establish boundaries without closing your heart. You can recognize your limitations without using them as proof that you are defective. Each quality finds a healthier expression when it is guided by love. Strength no longer means enduring everything. Kindness no longer means agreeing to everything. Humility no longer means hiding your gifts. As your mind becomes freer, your relationships become more truthful. You no longer need others to love a carefully edited version of you. You can express a preference, admit uncertainty, and respectfully say no. The right people may not agree with every choice, but they will have enough emotional space to know a real person. Some relationships may change when you stop playing an old role. This does not require you to make anyone a villain. You can appreciate what was shared and still recognize that the old pattern cannot continue. The space left by a changing relationship may feel uncomfortable for a while. Yet that space may eventually welcome connections in which you are not required to disappear. Mental freedom also allows creativity to return. When the question is always, will everyone like this? The creative voice becomes afraid to speak. It edits the idea before the idea has had time to breathe. Give yourself permission to create imperfectly. Write the first page, make the first attempt, or explore what interests you without demanding immediate proof of its value. Your task is not to know the complete result before beginning. Your task is to participate sincerely in the step that is available. Skill grows through practice, not through waiting to feel perfectly confident. Tell yourself, I am allowed to create, learn, and improve without using every result to judge my worth. There is a simple practice you can use whenever the mind becomes crowded. First, notice, I am thinking. This reminds you that the thought is an experience you are having, not your entire identity. Next question, is this thought true, loving, and supportive? Then choose, I am willing to select a better thought. The new thought need not be dramatic. It may simply be, I can handle the next 5 minutes, or I need more information before deciding. After that, return to your values, your boundaries, and the part of the situation that belongs to you. Finally, affirm, my mind is free. I choose thoughts of truth, love, peace, and possibility. You may use this practice many times in the same day. Repetition does not mean you are failing. Repetition is how a new path becomes familiar. Perhaps yesterday, an old thought controlled your mood for several hours. Today, you may recognize it after 20 minutes. Tomorrow, you may hear it begin and decline to follow. Appreciate every moment of awareness. You are no longer completely asleep inside the old story. You have created enough distance to make another choice. If a thought remains overwhelming or continually interferes with daily life, reach for appropriate professional support. Freedom includes allowing wise and trustworthy people to help you. Now take a slow breath and let these affirmations become your own. I am not every thought that passes through my mind. I have the right to choose again. I choose thoughts that support my life. I let truth guide me instead of fear. I do not need everyone's approval in order to feel peaceful. I respect the territory of others, and I lovingly protect my own. I release the need to control what other people think of me. I allow new questions to reveal new possibilities. My mind is becoming clearer, lighter, and more peaceful. I keep the wisdom and release the patterns that have completed their purpose. Continue gently. I trust that goodness is still unfolding before me. I return to the person God created me to be. I can acknowledge reality while leaving room for hope. I can learn from feedback without allowing it to define me. I can care about others without taking responsibility for their entire inner world. I can establish boundaries and remain loving. I can make a mistake and choose again. I can face uncertainty one step at a time. Peace is becoming my natural inner home. I release what I was taught to fear, and I return lovingly to who I was created to be. There is no need to rush through these words. Pause wherever your heart needs more time. And now, my dear, Notice whatever is moving through your mind. Do not demand that it become perfectly silent. Let the thoughts pass while you remain rooted in the part of you that can observe and choose. Your value is not being decided inside another person's mind. Your future is not required to obey every fearful prediction. Your power is here, in your own territory, in the loving choice available now. Return to truth whenever fear becomes loud. Return to your values whenever opinions become confusing. Return to your breath whenever the mind runs too far ahead. You are not trying to win a war against thinking. You are learning to become a peaceful guardian of your inner world. I choose truth. I choose peace. I choose freedom. What frequency are you living in today? Not as a judgment, dear one, but as a loving question. This is what I mean when I speak of vibration. Vibration is not something strange or distant or mysterious. It is the state of energy you are carrying in your thoughts, emotions, words, body, and the way you look at life. It is the atmosphere you live in from the inside. You may not always say it out loud, but life can feel the difference between I am not safe and I am supported. Your body can feel the difference between I must prove myself and I am willing to receive. Your relationships can feel the difference between please do not leave me and I am whole and I welcome healthy love. When you live in fear, self-criticism, anger, jealousy, resentment, or lack, your energy contracts. It becomes like a hand closing into a fist. Nothing is wrong with you when this happens. It simply means some part of you feels unsafe. Perhaps an old wound has been touched. Perhaps an old belief has begun broadcasting again. Perhaps the child inside you is asking, will anyone take care of me? But when you live in love, peace, gratitude, trust, and worthiness, your energy opens. It becomes like hands opening to the morning, saying, I am open and receptive to all good. Life often responds not only to what you say you want, but to the energy of the person you are being while you want it. You may say, I want love, but if the energy inside is panic, fear of abandonment, and the old belief that you must chase in order to be chosen, you may keep selecting people who make you anxious. You may say, I want prosperity, but if deep inside you feel guilty about receiving or believe you are not worthy of ease, you may unconsciously avoid opportunities that would support you. You may say, I want peace. But if every day you feed the mind with criticism, comparison, and hurry, the body may not know how to relax into peace. Now please, do not use this idea to blame yourself. That would lower the energy immediately, wouldn't it? We are not saying, oh, I created this because I am bad. No, we are saying, how interesting. My energy is showing me something. My life is showing me a belief. My body is showing me where I need more love. This is awareness, and awareness is the first doorway to change. So ask yourself gently, is my energy today contracted or expanded? Am I living from love or from fear? Do I believe life can support me, or do I believe I must fight alone? Am I allowing good, or am I standing at the ocean of life with a tiny cracked cup, wondering why I receive so little? You do not need to judge the answer. You only need to see it. The moment you see the pattern, you are already beginning to change it. Let us look at the signs of a lower vibration with kindness. You may be in a lower frequency when little things trigger you quickly. A person does not reply, and the mind says, I am not important. A plan changes, and the mind says, nothing works for me. Someone else succeeds. And instead of feeling inspired, you feel smaller, as if their good has taken something away from you. You may think bad things will happen. You may feel you must control everything in order to be safe. You may often tell yourself, I am not enough. I always get it wrong. No one really chooses me. The body may feel heavy. The breath may feel tight. The mind may feel noisy. You may feel as if you are always defending yourself from life. But dear one, a low vibration does not mean you are a low person. It does not mean you are weak, unspiritual, or failing. It often means you are frightened. It often means you are tired. It often means you are using old ways to protect yourself. Perhaps you learned to worry because worry felt like preparation. Perhaps you learned to control because being unprepared once hurt you. Perhaps you learned to criticize yourself first so no one else could wound you more deeply. These patterns were trying to help you survive. They may not be helping you flourish now, but they were not created because you were wrong. They were created because some part of you needed safety. So do not beat the low vibration. Love it upward. Put a hand on your heart and say, I see that I am afraid. I am willing to be kind to myself now. If jealousy appears, do not say, I am terrible. Say, there is a part of me that feels there is not enough. I now choose to remember that life has enough good for everyone. If anxiety appears, do not say, I am broken. Say, my body is trying to protect me. Thank you for sharing. I am safe enough in this moment. If self-criticism appears, say, that is an old thought. I choose a more loving thought now. A higher vibration feels very different. It does not mean life is perfect. It means you are no longer completely owned by imperfection. You may still have responsibilities, but you do not feel crushed by them in the same way. You may still feel discomfort, but you do not need to react immediately. You may be alone, but you do not feel abandoned by yourself. You begin to notice small blessings. The first breath of the morning, a warm drink, light coming through the window, a kind word, the softness of clean sheets, the miracle of your body carrying you again today. When your vibration rises, gratitude becomes easier. Not forced gratitude, not pretending everything is wonderful, but a natural noticing of good. You begin to believe that you can receive without exhausting yourself first. You begin to forgive more easily, yet you also set clearer boundaries. This is important. A high vibration is not people-pleasing. It is not saying yes to everything. It is not smiling while your heart is being stepped on. High energy is loving, but it is also clear. It can say, I bless you and I release you. It can say, this no longer serves me. It can say, I choose peace and therefore I will not keep returning to what destroys it. And perhaps you are in the middle, as most people are. Some days you feel open, and some days the old fear returns. Some days you trust life, and some days you ask, where is my support? Some days you feel guided, and some days you feel forgotten. This is normal. Raising your vibration is not about being cheerful every minute. It is not forcing yourself to smile when you want to cry. It is not denying grief, anger, tiredness, or human tenderness. It is the practice of returning to love more quickly each time you wander into fear. That is all. Return more quickly. Return without punishment. Return without saying, "I failed again." Simply notice, breathe, and choose again. You might say, "I am willing to raise my energy with love. I do not have to fight myself into a higher state. I can breathe. I can soften. I can choose one thought that feels better." And perhaps the thought is very simple. All is well in this moment. Or, life supports me in ways I can see and ways I cannot yet see. Or, I am open and receptive to all good today. Imagine yourself as a little radio transmitter. You do not need to scream at life. You do not need to chase every good thing. You simply tune yourself. You tune through your thoughts. You tune through your words. You tune through the way you treat your body. You tune through gratitude. You tune through forgiveness. You tune through choosing not to criticize yourself for one more day. And as the signal changes, life begins to respond to a different you. So today ask lovingly, what is my frequency teaching me? Not accusing me, teaching me. If I feel contracted, where do I need tenderness? If I feel jealous, where do I need to remember abundance? If I feel exhausted, where do I need rest? If I feel afraid, what part of me needs reassurance? If I feel open, how can I celebrate and expand this good feeling? Your vibration is not a sentence, it is a message. It is saying, here is where love is needed. Here is where rest is needed. Here is where a new belief is ready to be planted. And the moment you respond with love, the energy begins to change. Let us say together now, gently, I notice my energy with love. I do not judge where I am. I choose to move from fear into trust. I choose to move from lack into gratitude. I choose to move from self-criticism into self-approval. My energy is opening. My heart is softening. My life is responding to the love I now give myself. I am safe. I am guided. I am open and receptive to all good. There are 5 gentle ways to raise your vibration from the inside. And the third one is very important because it is the place where many people quietly block the good they say they want. So listen with an open heart, not with pressure, not with the feeling that you must become perfect by tomorrow morning, but with curiosity, because raising your vibration is not about pretending to be happy. It is not about smiling when your heart is tired. It is not about denying grief, fear, anger, or the very human moments when you simply do not know what to do next. Raising your vibration is learning how to choose love, care, clarity, and gratitude often enough that they become your new inner home. The first way is to come back into harmony with yourself. Magic does not begin when you finally force the whole world to change. It begins when you stop leaving yourself. So many people are trying to change their circumstances while they are still disconnected from their own heart. They ask everyone else what they should do. They chase signs, answers, approval, and reassurance. They listen to the loudest voice outside themselves and then wonder why they feel confused. Dear one, your energy becomes scattered when you are always running out of yourself to find safety somewhere else. To be in harmony with yourself means you begin asking tender questions. What am I feeling? What do I need? What am I afraid of? What am I pretending not to want? What part of me is asking to be heard? These are beautiful questions. They do not attack you. They bring you home. And when you come home to yourself, your signal becomes clearer. Think of yourself like a radio. If the dial is jumping from one station to another every few seconds, all you hear is noise. A little fear, a little people-pleasing, a little resentment, a little comparison, a little desperate wanting, a little old guilt. No wonder life feels confusing. But when you pause, breathe, and listen inward, the signal steadies. You begin to say, "Ah, this is what I really feel. This is what I really need. This is what I am ready to release." Clarity raises vibration. Honesty raises vibration. Self-abandonment lowers it. Self-connection lifts it again. You might practice this in the morning before the world enters. Place one hand on the heart and say, "Today I return to myself before I reach for anything outside of me." Then ask, what is the energy I want to carry today? Not the mood you hope other people give you, not the peace you hope circumstances create for you. The energy you choose to begin with: peace, trust, gratitude, clarity, love. Choose one and let it become the little lamp you carry through the day. The second way is to set boundaries that protect your energy. This is very important because you cannot continually place yourself in environments that make you feel small and then wonder why your vibration feels heavy. You cannot say yes when your whole body is saying no and then expect your energy to feel clear. You cannot keep giving access to people who drain, confuse, shame, or manipulate you and then wonder why your nervous system is tired. A boundary is not punishment. It is not coldness. It is not a wall built from hatred. A boundary is a loving statement to life. My energy has value. It says, I choose what enters the house of my mind. You would not allow every stranger to walk into your home, open your drawers, sit at your table, criticize your walls, and leave mud on the floor. Yet many people allow every energy, every opinion, every demand, every emotional storm to enter the sacred home of their inner world. Then they feel exhausted and call it love. Love does not ask you to become a doorway with no door. There are conversations you do not need to enter. There are explanations you do not need to repeat. There are relationships where the lesson is no longer to endure, but to leave with love. There are places you must step away from, not because you hate anyone, but because you are beginning to love yourself. And if an old thought says, "But what will they think?" you can say, "Thank you for sharing. I am learning to honor my energy." A person who loves themselves does not open the soul to every vibration that knocks. You can bless people and still not invite their chaos into your day. You can forgive and still not continue the same pattern. You can be kind and still say no. In fact, sometimes the clearest no is the most loving yes you will ever give to your own life. The third way, and this is the one I want you to hear very deeply, is to trust your own energy and your own worthiness. Many people try to raise their vibration while secretly believing they do not deserve the good they are asking for. They say, "I am open to abundance," but when an opportunity appears, they shrink. They say, "I want love," but when healthy love comes near, they feel suspicious or unworthy. They say, "I want to be seen," but when life gives them a larger place to stand, they ask, "Who am I to receive this?" This is where the magic often gets blocked. The universe can bring good to your door, but if you are still living from the belief that you are not allowed to receive, you may not open the door. Or you may open it a little, look at the good, and say, This must be for someone else. Dear one, why not you? Why not your life? Why not your healing? Why not your prosperity? Why not your peaceful love? Why not your beautiful new beginning? Trusting your energy does not mean sitting still and doing nothing. It means you act from faith instead of panic. You still make the call, write the message, do the work, care for the body, learn the skill, take the step, but you do not destroy yourself with fear while doing it. You do not say, if this does not happen immediately, life has abandoned me. You do not say, I must force, chase, push, and prove. You begin to say, I am willing to take inspired action. I am willing to let life meet me. I am willing to receive good without guilt. There is a beautiful difference between action from panic and action from worthiness. Panic grabs, worthiness opens. Panic says, I must get this or I am nothing. Worthiness says, this is good and I am available to receive what is right for me. Panic exhausts the body. Worthiness lets the body breathe. Panic tries to control every detail. Worthiness places the order in the cosmic kitchen and trusts that life knows more ways to deliver good than the mind can imagine. Imagine going to a lovely restaurant. You give your order to the waiter, then you relax and allow the kitchen to prepare it. You do not run into the kitchen every 30 seconds, shouting, are you making it? Did you hear me? What if you forgot? What if someone else gets my food? You trust the process. You may enjoy the company. You may drink your water. You may look around. And when the food arrives, you receive it. This is a playful way to think about life. Speak your word, take your step, then stop chasing the universe into the kitchen. Your worthiness is not created by struggle. It is not created by proving yourself to people who cannot see you. It is not created by becoming exhausted enough to deserve rest. You are worthy because you exist. You are worthy of love, respect, peace, support, beauty, joy, and abundance. Perhaps you were not taught this. Perhaps your family believed that good things must be earned through hardship. Perhaps you learned that receiving too much was selfish, dangerous, or arrogant. But those are old beliefs, and old beliefs can be changed. You might ask yourself, what do I believe would happen if I received more good? Would people judge you? Would you lose it? Would someone take it away? Would you feel guilty? Would you have to leave behind an old identity? These questions are not meant to frighten you. They are meant to show you the places where love is needed. Look gently, write the answers down, then say, thank you for sharing. I am willing to believe something new. A new belief might be, it is safe for me to receive good. Another might be, I can prosper and remain loving. Another might be, I do not have to shrink to belong. Another might be, the good that comes to me blesses me and allows me to bless life more fully. These are new signals. These are new instructions to the subconscious mind. And as you practice them, your vibration rises not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped arguing against your own good. The fourth way is to care for your body, because the body is the house of your vibration. Please do not leave the body out of spiritual work. Your body is not separate from your energy. It is the instrument through which your energy moves. If the body is exhausted, dehydrated, tense, underfed, overfed, sleep-deprived, and constantly criticized, it becomes very difficult to feel light. You may say the most beautiful affirmations, But if you are treating your body like an enemy, the inner signal becomes mixed. Think of energy as a river. When you rest, breathe, drink water, eat with care, move gently, stretch, walk, sleep, and listen, the river flows more freely. When you push, ignore, criticize, rush, and pretend the body has no needs, the river becomes blocked. The body begins to whisper. If you do not listen, it speaks louder. And still, it is not betraying you. It is trying to bring you back into harmony. A glass of water can be spiritual. A slow walk can be spiritual. Going to bed earlier can be spiritual. Saying no because your body is tired can be spiritual. Eating in a way that supports your energy can be spiritual. Putting your hand on your chest and taking 3 deep breaths can be spiritual. Do not make raising your vibration so complicated that you forget the simple things life is always offering you. In the morning, say to your body, "How can I support you today?" Then listen. Perhaps it wants movement. Perhaps it wants quiet. Perhaps it wants nourishment. Perhaps it wants less caffeine and more water. Perhaps it wants you to stop calling it ugly. Perhaps it wants you to bless it for carrying you through another day. Your body is always responding to the way you speak to it. Speak as if it belongs to someone you love. The 5th way is to nourish gratitude and presence every day. Gratitude is one of the quickest ways to move from lack into enoughness. When you are grateful, you tell the mind, "There is good here." And when you are present, you tell the body, "This moment is safe enough to enter." You do not need to begin with enormous things. Begin with the breath. Begin with the eyes that can see the morning light. Begin with the hands that can hold a cup. Begin with one person who once showed you kindness. Begin with the bed that carried you through the night. Begin with the fact that a new day has opened again. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply refuses to let pain be the only story. You can be healing and grateful. You can be uncertain and grateful. You can be waiting and grateful. You can still have desires while appreciating what is already here. Gratitude is not saying, "I need nothing." It is saying, "I recognize the good that is already present, and I allow more good to grow from here." Presence makes gratitude real. Taste the tea. Feel the water on your hands. Notice the sky. Breathe before you answer. Listen when someone speaks. Bless the money that comes in and the money that goes out. Say thank you to your body. Say thank you to life. Say thank you even for the small signs that you are learning, growing, softening, returning. And then, when your vibration begins to align, life can start to feel like magic. Not always like thunder and lightning. Sometimes magic is very quiet. You think of a person, and they reach out. You need an answer, and a sentence appears in a book, a conversation, a video, or a moment of silence. You feel uncertain about a decision, and suddenly something becomes clear. It feels as if life is whispering, "Keep going. You are being guided." This is synchronicity. It often appears when you stop gripping everything with fear. When the hand opens, life has somewhere to place the gift. When the mind softens, guidance can enter. When you no longer demand that life prove itself every minute, you begin to notice the gentle ways it has been speaking all along. Flow also begins to appear. Meetings feel more natural. Ideas arrive at the right time. The path opens step by step. The right people come in their season. Opportunities do not feel like things you must chase until you collapse. They feel like doors you are ready to walk through. You are still participating. You are still showing up. But you are not wrestling life to the ground. You are cooperating. And then there is a very beautiful sign of a higher vibration. Peace without a clear reason. Perhaps the big goal is not finished yet. Perhaps the money has not fully arrived. Perhaps the love has not appeared. Perhaps the answer is still forming. And yet, deep inside, something is no longer desperate. You feel, I am all right. I am being guided. Life is working for me in ways I may not yet see. This peace is precious. It means you are no longer waiting for perfection before you allow yourself to breathe. When your energy changes, the outer world may rearrange itself. Some people may drift away. Some old dramas may no longer interest you. Some environments may feel too small for the person you are becoming. At first, this can feel strange. You may wonder, why do I not fit here anymore? Dear one, sometimes not fitting is a sign of growth. Sometimes the miracle is not that everything stays the same and finally loves you. Sometimes the miracle is that you love yourself enough to move toward what matches your new energy. Magic is not always a large event falling from the sky. Sometimes magic is the moment you do not react like the old you. It is the moment you choose peace instead of panic. It is the moment you see your worth and do not push away the compliment, the opportunity, the kindness, the love. It is the moment you realize, I am not who I was. I am becoming someone new. So let us make this practical. In the morning, before you pick up the phone, place your hand on your heart and ask, what signal do I want to send today? Peace or hurry? Trust or doubt? Gratitude or lack? Love or fear? Then say, today I choose the vibration of love, peace, and abundance. Let the words be simple. Let your body hear them. During the day, pause when your energy is pulled down. When someone irritates you, do not respond immediately. When a negative thought appears, do not believe it too quickly. When jealousy, comparison, or self-criticism rises, say, I am being pulled into an old frequency. I can choose again. One breath can change the direction of energy. One kind sentence can keep you from falling deeper. One boundary can protect a whole day. At night, clear your energy before sleep. Look back without judgment. What made you heavy? What made you light? Where did you react from fear? Where did you choose love? Then imagine releasing everything that does not belong to you. Other people's moods, old conversations, unspoken tension, the pressure to fix everything. Let it leave the body like dust being washed from the skin. Say, I release what is not mine. I return to peace. And now, let these affirmations become a new signal in you. I am a magnet for love, peace, and abundance. My energy is clear, calm, and powerful. Life supports me in beautiful and unexpected ways. I now choose thoughts that lift me higher. I trust the process of life. I am worthy of all the good that comes to me. You do not need to become a perfect person for life to become more beautiful. You only need to begin noticing the signal you are sending. Every loving thought is a new signal. Every boundary is a new signal. Every act of care for your body is a new signal. Every moment of gratitude is a new signal. Every time you return to yourself instead of abandoning yourself, the energy changes. And when your signal changes, life no longer responds to the old version of you in the same way. It begins to respond to the new you, the softer you, the clearer you, the more worthy you, the you who is learning to open your hands and say, I am ready now. I am open and receptive to all good. Hello, my dear friends. You often thank other people for being there for you, for helping you, for loving you, for listening to you, for supporting you, don't you? But how often do you stop, place your hand on your heart, and thank yourself? How often do you say, thank you, me, for trying? Thank you, me, for staying. Thank you, me, for waking up today and beginning again. Thank you, me, for not giving up when life felt too heavy. Many of us are very familiar with self-criticism. We know how to say, I am not good enough. I should have done better. I am too slow. I am too weak. I made a mistake. I should be further along by now. But we were never really taught how to thank ourselves for the invisible courage it took to keep going. My dear, you have thanked many people for being there for you. But today, life is asking you to thank the one person who has never truly left you yourself. You were there in every season. You were there in the mornings when you felt tired but still got up. You were there in the nights when your heart hurt and no one knew how much. You were there when you made mistakes and still had to learn. You were there when you lost something, when you hoped again, when you cried quietly, when you began again with trembling hands. You may have forgotten your own loyalty. You may have overlooked your own strength. You may have been so busy blaming yourself for not being perfect that you did not see how brave you have been simply to remain here. So today, let us begin a new relationship with ourselves through gratitude. Say softly, I thank myself for being here, for trying, for healing, and for not giving up. Let that sentence feel unfamiliar if it needs to. Many healing words feel strange in the beginning because the mind has been trained to reject kindness. But strange does not mean false. It may simply mean new. You are learning a new language with yourself. You are learning to stop treating your soul like a worker who is only valuable when it performs well. You are learning to thank yourself not because you are perfect, but because you are alive, learning, repairing, growing, and still willing to heal. Why is it so hard to thank ourselves? For many people, it began long ago. Perhaps you were praised only when you achieved something. Perhaps love felt louder when you were successful, quiet, useful, beautiful, obedient, or strong. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where comparison was normal, where someone else was always better, faster, smarter, prettier, calmer, or more successful. Perhaps you were corrected more than encouraged. Perhaps you became the strong one so early that you forgot you were also allowed to be tender. Perhaps you began to believe that if you did not push yourself harshly, you would never improve. So self-criticism became a strange kind of motivation. You thought, if I am gentle with myself, I will become lazy. If I praise myself, I will become arrogant. If I rest, I am weak. If I thank myself, I am being too proud. But my dear, thanking yourself is not arrogance. It is healing. It is not saying, I am better than everyone. It is saying, I see my own effort. It is not saying, I have nothing left to learn. It is saying, I honor how far I have come while I continue to grow. You do not have to be perfect to appreciate yourself. You deserve gratitude because you have lived, learned, corrected, apologized, repaired, endured, stood up again, and continued. You deserve gratitude because there were days when quitting emotionally would have been easier, but some part of you chose to stay. Say gently, I do not have to be perfect to appreciate myself. There is also something important to understand about the brain. The brain often remembers criticism faster than love. It pays attention to danger, mistakes, rejection, and negative information because it is trying to protect you. This does not mean your brain is against you. It means your brain learned to watch for what could hurt you. But if you do not consciously plant loving words, the mind may return to old habits, scanning for flaws, predicting disappointment, replaying mistakes, and building a case against yourself. If you are used to thinking, I am not good enough, your mind will collect evidence to make that sentence seem true. It will ignore your effort, your kindness, your survival, your growth, and it will magnify the one thing you did not do perfectly. But the beautiful truth is this: you can train the mind to notice differently. If you begin saying, thank you, me, for trying, the brain begins to look for proof that you are trying. If you say, thank you, me, for growing, the mind begins to notice your growth. If you say, thank you, me, for surviving, the heart begins to remember all the things you have already come through. Repetition matters. A sentence repeated with love can become a new pathway. 30 days of thanking yourself is not only a sweet practice, it is a gentle re-education of the mind. It is a way of moving from self-judgment to self-recognition, from inner attack to inner safety, from I am never enough to I see myself with compassion now. When gratitude is repeated, the body also begins to receive a new message. The nervous system hears, I am not in danger from my own voice. The heart softens, the shoulders drop, the breath deepens. The inner child begins to peek out from hiding. The soul begins to feel that perhaps, finally, it is safe to be seen by you. Say softly, I train my mind to notice my goodness, my effort, and my growth. This is self-gratitude. It is not pretending you have no flaws. It is choosing to see yourself with a fuller truth. Yes, you are still learning. Yes, you may still make mistakes. Yes, you may still have wounds to heal. But you also have goodness. You also have courage. You also have effort. You also have a heart that has been trying for a long time. Now imagine doing this for 30 days. Not as a challenge that pressures you, not as another thing to do perfectly. Think of it as a journey home. Every day, for a few minutes, you place your hand on your heart. You call your name gently. You say or write 3 sentences, beginning with, thank you, me, for. That is all. It does not have to be long. It does not have to sound beautiful. It only has to be honest. Thank you, me, for waking up and trying again. Thank you, me, for surviving what once broke my heart. Thank you, me, for learning to love myself slowly. Each thank you is like a drop of water on a heart that has been dry from too much self-blame. Each thank you says, I see you. I am not only here to criticize you, I am here to honor you too. You do not need to wait for someone else to recognize your effort before you can recognize it. You can become the first source of recognition for yourself. You can become the witness you have been longing for. Say gently, "Every day, I thank myself back into love." What a beautiful sentence. Thanking yourself back into love. Not forcing yourself. Not fixing yourself with shame. Not demanding immediate confidence. Simply thanking yourself, little by little, until the heart remembers that it deserves kindness. For the first 10 days, keep it very simple. Do not try to love every part of yourself immediately. Do not force yourself to be positive. Begin by thanking yourself for surviving. Thank yourself for waking up today. Thank yourself for going through hard days. Thank yourself for enduring things no one saw. Thank yourself for crying and still continuing. Thank your body for walking with you. Thank your heart for still knowing how to love. Thank your inner child for trying to feel safe. Thank yourself for learning from mistakes. Thank yourself for not giving up. Thank yourself for beginning to heal. My dear, you cannot build true self-love on a foundation that denies your pain. First, honor the part of you that survived. Honor the part of you that stayed when life was not easy. Honor the part of you that kept breathing through confusion, loss, fear, shame, and change. Place your hand on your heart and say, "Thank you, me, for surviving. Thank you, me, for staying." Let this be the first doorway in your 30 days. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are not too late. You are a soul learning to stop attacking itself and begin offering gratitude. And every sincere thank you brings you one step closer to healing your heart. The next 10 days, my dear, are about thanking yourself for growing. After you have gently honored the part of you that survived, after you have said, "Thank you, me, for staying," and "Thank you, me, for not giving up," something inside you becomes ready for a deeper recognition. You are not only the person who was hurt. You are not only the person who endured. You are not only the person who cried, waited, lost, and kept going. You are also the person who is learning. You are the person who is choosing differently now. You are the person who is slowly rebuilding the relationship with yourself, one small decision at a time. And this is beautiful, because growth does not always look loud. Sometimes growth is very quiet. Sometimes growth is simply the moment you do not abandon yourself the way you used to. So for days 11 through 20, we thank the self who is growing. We thank the self who is beginning to say no. Perhaps your no is still shaky. Perhaps your voice still trembles. Perhaps you still feel guilty after you set a boundary. That is all right, my dear. A shaky no can still be a sacred no. It means something in you has begun to understand. My peace matters too. My time matters too. My body matters too. My needs matter too. So you say, "Thank you, me, for learning to set boundaries." Not because you do it perfectly, but because you are beginning. Not because everyone understands you, but because you are finally beginning to understand yourself. Then you thank yourself for listening to your feelings. For so long, perhaps you pushed your feelings down. You told yourself you were too sensitive, too emotional, too dramatic, too complicated. You tried to be fine when you were not fine. You tried to be strong when you needed comfort. You tried to stay calm while your body was asking for honesty. But now you are learning to pause and ask, what am I feeling? Where is this in my body? What is this emotion trying to tell me? That is growth. That is not weakness. That is emotional maturity. Say softly, "Thank you, me, for listening to my feelings." And thank yourself for not reacting like the old version of you. This is such a powerful sign of healing. Maybe once, when you felt rejected, you immediately chased. Maybe once, when you felt criticized, you attacked yourself for days. Maybe once, when you felt afraid, you tried to control everything. Maybe once, when you were triggered, you sent messages from panic. But today, perhaps you paused. Perhaps you breathed. Perhaps you waited until your heart was calmer. Perhaps you chose silence not as punishment, but as self-respect. Perhaps you said, "I will respond from peace, not from my wound." My dear, that is growth. Thank yourself for that. Say, "Thank you, me, for choosing differently today." Thank yourself for choosing healthier people, healthier places, and healthier things. This can be difficult because the old familiar patterns often pull strongly. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar peace. But you are beginning to notice what drains you and what nourishes you. You are beginning to feel the difference between love and attachment, between peace and numbness, between chemistry and chaos, between loyalty and self-abandonment. You may not choose perfectly every time, but you are becoming more honest. You are learning to walk away from what hurts you. Say gently, "Thank you, me, for walking away from what hurts me." Thank yourself for daring to look at the truth. Truth is not always comfortable. Sometimes truth asks you to admit that you have outgrown something. Sometimes truth asks you to see a pattern you did not want to see. Sometimes truth asks you to stop defending someone's behavior when your body already knows it is painful. Sometimes truth asks you to recognize your own part, not with shame, but with responsibility. My dear, truth is not here to punish you. Truth is here to free you. So say, "Thank you, me, for telling myself the truth." Each honest moment brings you closer to freedom. Thank yourself for rebuilding self-trust. Self-trust is not rebuilt by one grand promise. It is rebuilt through small promises kept. You say you will drink water, and you do. You say you will rest, and you allow yourself to rest. You say you will not check the phone for 10 minutes while triggered, and you breathe instead. You say you will write one page, clean one corner, take one walk, tell one truth, make one choice that honors you. Every time you keep a small promise, your soul whispers, "I can trust myself a little more." Say softly, "Thank you, me, for rebuilding self-trust." And then say, "Thank you, me, for keeping small promises." These small promises are not small to the heart. They are proof that you are becoming someone safe for yourself. Thank yourself for releasing what is no longer yours. This may be a belief, a relationship, a role, a dream that no longer fits, a burden you carried for someone else, or an identity built from old pain. Releasing can feel like loss, but sometimes it is the most loving thing you can do. You are not here to carry every story forever. You are not here to stay loyal to pain just because it is familiar. Say, "Thank you, me, for releasing what is no longer mine." Let your body feel lighter as you say it. You can honor the past without dragging it into every new room. Thank yourself for becoming gentler. This is one of the sweetest forms of growth. The world may have taught you to be hard on yourself. It may have taught you to push, prove, perform, and punish. But now you are learning that gentleness can also create change. You are learning to speak to yourself with a softer voice. You are learning to rest without calling yourself lazy. You are learning to make mistakes without turning them into a life sentence. You are learning that tenderness is not weakness, it is wisdom. Say gently, "Thank you, me, for becoming gentler." And thank yourself for growing at your own pace. You do not have to heal on someone else's timeline. You do not have to become a new person overnight. You do not have to compare your chapter to another person's chapter. Growth has seasons. Some days you bloom. Some days you root deeper in the dark. Some days you rest. Some days you rise. All of it belongs. Say softly, "Thank you, me, for growing at my own pace." Then let the main affirmation for these 10 days settle in your heart. Thank you, me, for growing. Thank you, me, for choosing better. And then, my dear, we enter the final 10 days. These last 10 days are about receiving. After survival has been honored and growth has been recognized, the heart begins to open to a new life. Not because everything is finished, not because every wound is completely healed, not because you never feel afraid anymore, but because something inside you begins to say, "Maybe I am ready for more good. Maybe life can be gentle with me. Maybe I do not have to stay in the old story forever. Maybe I can receive love without chasing it. Maybe I can receive joy without feeling guilty. Maybe I can receive abundance without believing I must suffer first." So on day 21, you thank yourself for opening to good things. This is not always easy after painful seasons. Pain can train the heart to expect disappointment. But healing begins to say, "I am willing to believe that good can come again." Say, "Thank you, me, for opening to good things." On day 22, thank yourself for remembering you are worthy of love. Not after you become perfect, not after someone chooses you, not after you fix every flaw. Now, say, "Thank you, me, for remembering I am worthy of love." On day 23, thank yourself for allowing joy back into your life. Joy can feel strange after survival. You may have become so used to being strong that joy feels almost unsafe. But joy is not a betrayal of your past pain. Joy is proof that your heart is still alive. Say, "Thank you, me, for allowing joy back into my life." On day 24, thank yourself for dreaming again. Maybe the dream is small. Maybe it is still fragile. Maybe it is only a whisper. But a dream means the soul is looking forward. Say, "Thank you, me, for dreaming again." On day 25, thank yourself for learning to receive. Many people know how to give. They give time, care, attention, love, labor, patience, forgiveness, and understanding. But receiving can feel harder. Receiving requires softness. It requires believing that you do not have to earn everything through exhaustion. Say, "Thank you, me, for learning to receive." On day 26, thank yourself for making space for blessings. Maybe you are clearing your room, clearing your schedule, clearing old energy, clearing old beliefs, or clearing relationships that no longer honor your spirit. Space is sacred. Say, "Thank you, me, for making space for blessings." On day 27, thank yourself for trusting life again. Perhaps trust comes slowly. Perhaps one part of you still says, But what if I get hurt? Be kind to that part. Trust is not blindness. Trust is the willingness to remain open while becoming wiser. Say, thank you, me, for trusting life again. On day 28, thank yourself for choosing peace over old drama. There may have been a time when drama felt familiar, when intensity felt like love, when chaos made you feel needed. But now your nervous system is learning a new language. Say, thank you, me, for choosing peace over old drama. On day 29, thank yourself for becoming your own safe place. This is the heart of healing. You no longer leave yourself alone in painful moments. You no longer attack yourself when you are afraid. You no longer abandon your needs to keep someone close. You are becoming the person who stays. Say, thank you, me, for becoming my own safe place. And on day 30, thank yourself for completing 30 days of returning to your heart. Not perfectly, not without resistance, not without forgetting sometimes, but with sincerity. Say, thank you, me, for these 30 days of healing my heart. The main affirmation for the final 10 days is this: thank you, me, for opening to love, joy, abundance, and a beautiful new life. Let those words feel like a door opening. Love, joy, abundance, a beautiful new life. You are not only surviving now, you are learning how to receive. And a heart that has been thanked does not have to beg for love from places that keep hurting it. A heart that has been thanked begins to say, I have me, I am with me, and from this place I can receive more good. After 30 days of thanking yourself, your outside life may not change all at once, but something very important begins to change inside. The way you see yourself begins to soften. And when your relationship with yourself changes, your choices begin to change too. First, your inner voice becomes gentler. You no longer attack yourself immediately when you make a mistake. You can pause and say, I am learning. This is a miracle, my dear. A gentle inner voice can become a home. Second, your nervous system begins to feel safer. You do not need to run outside yourself in desperation every time something feels uncertain. You can come back to your breath. You can place a hand on your heart. You can say, I am here with me. This does not mean you no longer need people. It means you no longer abandon yourself while waiting for people. Third, you begin to see more good evidence about yourself. The brain becomes familiar with noticing effort, not only mistakes. You begin to remember, I kept going, I learned, I repaired, I tried, I grew. The mind becomes less like a judge and more like a witness. Fourth, you become less dependent on outside recognition. Compliments still feel lovely. Encouragement still matters. Love from others is still a blessing, but it is no longer the only source of your worth. You begin to give yourself some of the recognition you once begged the world to give you. Fifth, the heart softens. You no longer need to be hard in order to survive. You can be gentle and strong. You can be tender and wise. You can be open and still have boundaries. A soft heart is not a weak heart. It is a heart that is no longer frozen in defense. Sixth, you choose better. When you thank yourself, you become less willing to place yourself in environments where you are dismissed, ignored, belittled, or made small. Gratitude toward yourself creates self-respect. You begin to ask, Does this honor the person I am becoming? And seventh, you begin to feel worthy of receiving good. Self-gratitude opens the door to self-worth. You realize you are not here only to survive pain. You are here to live fully, love deeply, create, receive, rest, laugh, heal, and experience the goodness life still has for you. Say softly, as I thank myself, I heal my heart and remember my worth. Let this be the thread through the 30 days. Every thank you is medicine. Every thank you is a repair. Every thank you is a small return. Every thank you says to the soul, I see you now. Now, my dear, let us read the 30 thank you affirmations together. You may read one each day, or you may read them all whenever your heart needs to remember its own beauty. Thank you, me, for being here today. Thank you, me, for surviving what once felt impossible. Thank you, me, for trying again. Thank you, me, for carrying me through painful seasons. Thank you, my body, for supporting me every day. Thank you, my heart, for still being able to love. Thank you, my inner child, for staying with me. Thank you, me, for learning from the past. Thank you, me, for not giving up. Thank you, me, for beginning to heal. Thank you, me, for learning to set boundaries. Thank you, me, for listening to my feelings. Thank you, me, for choosing differently today. Thank you, me, for walking away from what hurts me. Thank you, me, for telling myself the truth. Thank you, me, for rebuilding self-trust. Thank you, me, for keeping small promises. Thank you, me, for releasing what is no longer mine. Thank you, me, for becoming gentler. Thank you, me, for growing at my own pace. Thank you, me, for opening to good things. Thank you, me, for remembering I am worthy of love. Thank you, me, for allowing joy back into my life. Thank you, me, for dreaming again. Thank you, me, for learning to receive. Thank you, me, for making space for blessings. Thank you, me, for trusting life again. Thank you, me, for choosing peace over old drama. Thank you, me, for becoming my own safe place. Thank you, me, for these 30 days of healing my heart. And now, as we come to the close, I want you to thank the person who has carried you through everything. You have thanked many people in your life, and that is beautiful. Gratitude toward others opens the heart. But today, thank yourself. Thank the feet that kept walking. Thank the heart that endured pain and still knows how to love. Thank the body that accompanied you through every season. Thank the soul that never truly left you, even when you forgot how to be gentle with yourself. In the first 10 days, thank yourself for surviving. In the next 10 days, thank yourself for growing. In the final 10 days, thank yourself for opening to a new life. And after 30 days, may you no longer see yourself as a broken project that must constantly be fixed. May you begin to see yourself as a beloved being who deserves patience, tenderness, appreciation, and care. If you are ready to begin 30 days of thanking yourself and healing your heart, write in the comments, "Thank you, me." Let that be your declaration. Let your body hear it. Let your inner child hear it. Let your heart hear it. You are finally coming home to yourself. Say this final affirmation with me. Thank you, me, for being here. Thank you for surviving, for growing, for healing, and for opening your heart again. I forgive myself for being too hard on myself. I choose to appreciate who I am. what I have endured, and who I am becoming. I am worthy of love, peace, joy, and every good thing life is bringing to me. All is well in my world,